Hello and welcome back to the first time in a very long time. This is the Coffee Vanners and this is Cadac Corner. Now going back 2, 3, maybe even 4 years ago, we had the old Safari Chef 2 QR, and we've a couple of videos on here about how we cook now. We use that. Now, there's been a lot of videos lately about people buying the new 2Cook 3, 2Cook 3 Pro, all the different variants of the Cadac. And we thought we're going to step in and give you a little bit of additional information. No new information, just additional information. And that's because we've had the 2Cook 2 Pro now for 2.5 years. So we're going to tell you a little bit about how we found it, what we think about it, whether it's fit for purpose, and really, should you actually go and buy one? Because they are a little bit different from what else is on the market. So let's have a start with looking at the first of the actual range of the 2Cook grills. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2Cook 2 Pro. And as you can see, it's not the QR. I don't even think there was a QR available when we got this. But it comes pretty much like you get with the new one today, minus a couple of extra bits. So first of all, you always get a lovely bag. This bag has, well, it still looks like new, to be fair. It really does look like new. It is well put together. The zips are strong. It will take a little bit of throwing around inside the locker of your caravan, and it has in ours for 2.5 years, and it still looks pretty good. So no complaints there with the bag. So let's get on to the actual bit of kit, because this is where the 2Cook was actually better than I think the very early editions of the Carry Chef and the Safari Chef. First of all, I think they upgraded everything. The reason being, our Safari Chef wasn't quite as robust with the paintwork. It got chipped, it got knocked, it got banged. And after we'd had it about 18 months, it was starting to show its age. So, but this isn't. You can see there is small marks on the rings, but it's had pans on, and it's been thrown around the cooker, and it's, you know, and it's been put through the washer and everything else every time we've used it. The top is like new. We clean that with nothing but paper towel and white vinegar. It just everything, the paint, there's marks and there's scratches, but there is actually no paint been chipped off. All the paint is still there. You know, you put the top down, it still looks like a new Cadac. It really has survived the test of time. And the same goes for the additional plates. So I'll just take these 2Cook plates off for the pans. On this particular one, you don't get the one for the coffee pot, but there is a nice workaround to that, and it's done with the standard pans. If you've got a mocha pot, or you want to use a French press or anything of that nature, and you want to put the pot on the heat, simply stand it on these plates. It does no harm to the plates whatsoever, and every time I've cooked on the mocha pot, I just turn the heat on and put it on the flat plate in the middle. And it boils my coffee, and everything is absolutely no problem at all. Here's something else about this particular one. The plates, 2.5 years old, this, still look like new. They've not been replaced. They are. You can see the difference from the 2Cook 3. They don't have the handle slot. The case doesn't have the windshields, but that still looks like brand new. And that cooks every breakfast for 2.5 years that we've had in the caravan. You know, it does stand up to the job. And you can also get some nice little extras. So let's take these 2 plates off and go back to the old pans, because the pan plates, or the pan rings, are great. So you might be like us, you might be wanting a steak one night. So on this side, you won't use the pan ring. You use the flat plate, or maybe even the griddle plate. And you're thinking, I'm not going to have it with salad. I'm going to steam myself some lovely vegetables. And off you go. Grill your chicken, do your veg, lovely boiled potatoes, salad potatoes in the bottom, a few shallots maybe, and then, you know, some sort of seasonal veg in the middle, maybe a little bit of asparagus on the top at the end, just to finish it off. Warm it through, put it onto your griddle, just to give it that little barbecue tinge, and then away you go, beautiful dinner. And it's better than home. This al fresco cooking idea is much better than home. And the versatility of this cooker is better than home. Because you might decide you want a steak, but the kids don't want a steak. They want something else. You're having steak and a nice sweet salad. Kids want a pizza. So grab yourself the little 30 pizza stone. 6 8-inch pizza, throw it on there. As you can see, it's been used. 25 centimetre pizza stone, that, you know. Of course, you can, if you didn't want to have 2 rings on, you could probably get away with a 30 or even a bigger one, but that one fits absolutely perfect on the grill. Can't go wrong. But what about if you want to do something a little bit different again? I will just say though, with the pizza stone, this one doesn't come in a bag, so you do have to take a little bit of care of the box and the polystyrene that it comes in. Right, one pizza stone back on the box. Let's move along a bit. This has been absolutely fantastic for us, and it is the paella pan. Now, if you're going to buy any accessory for your 2-cook or 3-cook grill, buy the paella pan. You want to cook eggs? Do a little bit of egg fried rice? Want to do yourself a stir fry? Paella? You name it. If it's something you cook in a 1-cook pan at home, you can cook it in this paella pan. And look at that after 2.5 years. It's like new. It cleans like everything else cleans. Look, there's the lid. Absolutely fantastic. But there's something better. Because you know, when you've been out and you've had that Sunday lunch and you come home and all you want to do is have a bit of a picky tea. Well, what's better than the ham, cheese and onion toasty? And you're thinking, how do you do ham, cheese and onion toasty? Well, you know that most of these Cadac stuff costs the earth. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. But it's top quality. So let's look at something else that's not cheap, but it's top quality. That goes on your Cadac, just like everything else. Something you really are going to enjoy having for them little picky teas where you think, I'm going to have that little toasty. They've talked about it for years. Fishermen have had these on the banks for years. Van lifers swear by them. It's a Ridge Monkey. They are, again, top quality and perfect for making that tea. You put your toasty in, you put it down, you toast one side, you turn it over, you toast the other side, you put it on your plate, you put it in your mouth, add a bit of salad, a little bit of coleslaw, and away you are. There you are, you've got everything you need. Now, last but not least is our new addition to the Braie Life. And that has been an absolute game changer. Not for when there's just the two of us, not so much when there's two of us, but certainly if we've got you know, a couple of friends that may want to come over for dinner. Now I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go and fetch the one bit that I left inside the caravan that makes a difference, and something if you're going to buy a Cadac 2 Cook 2 Pro, 2 Cook 3 Pro, 2 Cook 2, 2 Cook 3 with the extra deluxe everything all singing and dancing, this is the thing you've got to buy extra. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. So while we're having a little break and I've run off into the caravan, let's talk about our sponsors who are Cover for Caravans, and this is the logo. All the details are in the description below. We buy fabulous bits of kit for our caravan. We need to insure it by people who know about caravanning, and Cover for Caravans have looked after us, and we believe they'll look after you. So all the links in the description below. Let's get back to the video. Right, so I've done this big up on this bit of kit for the Cadac, and what is it? And why am I talking about this separately to all the other bits of kit? And the reason is it's a game changer. It's a game changer because it gives you that extra versatility if you have extra guests or you want to cook extra. And that was a butterfly that's just gone across the camera. But if you want to cook something extra, you've got much more space on the same two plates. But not only that, you're able to vary the heat across the plate. So let's take a look at it. And this is it. It's called the Dometic 2 Cook Plancher. It fits on all the 2 Cook and 3 Cook products. It comes in its lovely own bag, and this is it. And the great thing about it is that you can vary the heat across the plate, so you can be cooking your chicken and everything else which takes longer, you want to cook slower, on one side, and your eggs and bacon and all the other stuff on the other that isn't going to take so long to cook, and you maybe just want to throw it on at the last minute if you're cooking your mushrooms or things like that, or you've got your beans in your little pot. You can put it on that side, you can cook them and then put them on that side, turn the heat down, keep them all warm. And that's why it is so much a game changer. And whilst it isn't cheap, like everything Cadac, it is well worth the investment, and something we really do think has been an absolute game changer for us. We're thankful that some friends of ours went to the NEC, went to the show and saw this being demonstrated and decided to buy one. They introduced it to us, we went out and bought one, and wow, what a difference. So there we are, that's our 2.5 years of Cadac. Everything you probably need, excluding a couple of ramekins and a couple of egg rings, and you have the perfect outdoor cook system. Now, whether you buy the 2 Cook Pro at what, 130, 140, or whether you go for the all singing and dancing deluxe QR, everything on and there is your choice. But would I recommend a Cadac? Absolutely. It has, despite it being heavy, and that is its only downfall, been absolutely superb for us, and we cannot sing our praises highly of it. And this video is sponsored by Cover for Caravans and not by Cadac. We're purely wanting to show you how we have managed with this over the last 2.5 years, so you can see that if you're going to invest, you're actually making a viable and decent investment for the money that you're going to spend. So that's it from us. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for looking at our little Cadac corner. And until next time, you stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.